Cinders.
A large crackling fire, a young man sits on a large stone watching over the inferno. In the background, fire engines coming closer as he gives his side of the story. I'm sitting here watching over this fire. Yes, this fire will cleanse the evil that grew here many years ago. There was no choice. Had to do what I did to save lives, many lives. It all started with Mrs. Walker, helping her with a cleaning project because she was too old to do so herself, and she had planned to visit her sister just north. I have known her for years. That is, I'm her only tenant in the house during the winter months. So I find myself with cleaning up after tourists leave. As I was cleaning out one of the rooms, I was wiping down one of the dressers, accidentally pushing something down behind it. It was not a normal dresser, but one of those enormous heavy ones. Had to be over 100 years old. After pushing it away to the side, I found a small door, opening it, crawling around in a small crawl space about the size of a child. I come to the end and find a small 6x6 room with ancient antique crates. Looking around, I found a box containing what seems to be an 18th century phonograph. A machine that records on cinders that look like thick toilet paper tubes. There was at least 10 of them in the box included with the recorder player. So I carefully pulled this unit out of the hole, took it to my room, and hooked up the first cinder. Turning the crank to the old recorder was a task in itself. Placing the needle on the first cinder marked 1, a hard hissing, a voice comes on.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
The voice says,
If you're hearing this, that means that your life is in danger. You must destroy this player and its findings. Do not go any further in order to survive.
clicking sound, then what the hell did I just hear? These recordings are from over 100 years ago. What kind of danger could it possibly pose today? Hours have passed since I listened to the first cinder, and the voice keeps playing over and over in my head. I feel as if I'm going mad wanting to listen to the second cinder. But what about the warning? What the hell even sounded like either they killed themselves or got killed by someone with a gun? After eating, I stood looking over the other 9 cinders, as I'm looking down at the one marked number 2, reaching for it, pulling out the second cinder from the box. I unwrapped it carefully from its container, then slid it on the player, placing the needle on the cinder. Again, a hard hissing, then a voice.
You have been warned. The things you will hear in this recording are real. Nothing will ever be the same for you. Again. And you will believe in otherworldly knowledge that I placed. And you have been warned.
In the background, you hear a set of numbers relaying. Then a set of beeps, like a modern computer. This was strange, I didn't get it. How could there have been? What was that about? This was recorded in the late 1800s, and how am I hearing what sounds like code to a computer? Rushing to pull cinder 3, placing the needle on it. Crackling sound, the voice comes back.
You are listening to my voice in your room, which overlooks the lake where your bed is now. You should see, right next to your bed, is board on the floor. are pictures in here. Hold them in your hand. Said seeing you from Dr. Hillbright from inside the asylum. This was the first strange and painful committed such crimes after watching these. I was told not to destroy them. There will be an answer, and it will not wait. And 3.
I pulled up the boards next to my bed and found a tin box with writing on the outside of the box. Welcome to Springside. Opening the box containing the pictures, doing just what the voice said, but I did not flip them, just looked at each one. Couldn't, oh my God, I felt sick after looking at them. What was this? It looked as if the pictures show how to remove the brain. Even though the pictures were in black and white, I couldn't look at this gore anymore. I must go on listening. If I don't, this may drive me mad. Cinder 4. More hissing than normal. Music was playing barely inaudible. What is that sound in the background? I put my ear closer to the megaphone-type speaker. A series of screams. Long drawn-out screams, then a voice said,
Thank you, my dear.
with a thud silence for a second, then a voice, N4. What did I just listen to? Do I even want to know? I stumbled around for Cinder 5. Sliding this one on was easier. This cinder seems to be clearer than the others, a few cracks and pops than what sounded like the doctor himself.
Hello, my name is Francis Hillbright. I am here residing at Springside Asylum. I have been conducting several experiments to find the same results. It is conclusive that a part of the human soul can be captured and released from animate objects, such as dolls. My next experiment will be any means be short of one's imagination, but my glorious expectations. And 5.
I felt as if I was being watched. Lined up in the main hall downstairs was antique dolls. Their eyes followed me everywhere, or I think I'm just going insane. There was no way. Thinking to myself as I go back to the room, grabbing Cinder 6. What the? As I listened to this one, it made me feel even more uneasy. Little more crackling than Cinder 5, but still clear. A child was singing what seems to be a Mother Goose type rhyme.
Wow, very good, Mary. You learned that song well.
Thank you, Doctor. Do you want to hear the rest of it?
Why, sure.
It sounded like a small audience cheering as the recording faded with a voice booming, N6. That was disturbing and confusing. And what did that have to do with his experiments? I grabbed Cinder 7. Strange that this cinder seems shorter than the rest, or I should say the grooves were shorter. As always, the crackling starts.
This is Dr. Francis Hillbright. It's September 27, 1896, 5:40 p.m.
It wasn't her. What did she become?
N7. Dare I even go on? What was she? What happened in that lab? Maybe Cinder 8 will have the answer I seek. Cinder 8 playing, crackling. I guess the doctor could not find what he was looking for, the fountain of youth, or was it something else? As I started reaching for Cinder 9, I noticed a small letter wrapped around it with a warning. Do not play if you don't want to know. Yeah, most of them have been creepy up till now, so what the hell? Sliding Cinder 9 to the player as always, the crackling sound, then a voice. Clear as day, I did not know what the hell that meant. An unearthly sound of screeches and screams come through the horn. Laughing the ungodly laughing, tanum uptoram cormatio. Not a sound, not even crackling. I thought the cinder has ended, but no, just nothing. It was deaf like then suddenly.
You must play the 10th cinder to finish.
Oh my god, what did I just listen to? A mass murder from 120 years ago? I went downstairs. I was thirsty and hungry. Did not know how long I was upstairs. Noticing it was dark outside, I felt very uneasy. It felt like eyes were watching me, but from where? I looked at the mantel and saw from the corner of my eye what looked like all those dolls have fixated themselves on watching me, then a shadow. I felt chills like the temperature dropped at least 25 degrees. Soon after I started hearing a loud clanking noise, I ran back to my room and locked my door. I reached for Cinder 10, placing it on the player, after starting it up with a voice that I heard so many times before.
This is Dr. Francis Albright, the only living person left at Springside Asylum. Everyone else is dead. I have killed them in order to track their souls. Some have come to call me as corrupt or insane, but not for nothing. I am a collector. My soul will be preserved in this cinder. I know I will be released in the year 2016, 120 years from now. I'm one so ignorant and curiously blind, who has no idea what they have done.
Suddenly, I hear banging on the door.
My soul needs a new home, and you are the one. You to be taken. There is nothing you can do to change this. I will bring my minions back, one by one. You must forfeit yourself to my will.
Daunted by this, I thought for a moment I knew what had to be done. Another bang at the door. I yelled out as loud as I could, You will not take me. I will destroy any memory of you and destroy your work, you sick bastard. Grabbing an old oil lamp that lay next to the bed, opened it, spreading the oil on the cinders and player, climbing out the window, then ran into the front door, flipping anything flammable, turning on the gas stove. I yelled to ghosts that haunted the house, especially to the doctor, "Go back to hell where you came from!" Taking the lighter I had in my pocket, lit, tossing it to the floor, allowing the house to engulf in flames. You could hear unearthly screams and howling coming from the house. I knew no one else was in there. I knew I was alone. All I could think was. I prayed I stopped it, but him from crossing over.